Hello, Verida, and welcome to another podcast for Life Inside Verida. Today, we have some very special guests with us from our dispatch department here at the corporate office in Villa Rica. And we're going to be having a conversation about what happens in dispatch and basically how they're connected to everybody else throughout the company. It's going to be very interesting, our conversation. So we look forward to the conversation. And now what we're going to do is we're going to introduce our guests and basically let them tell you a little bit about what they do.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dewan McDowell. I am the Georgia Transportation Manager for Verida. I've been with Verida for about 5 years and 6 months now. I've been in dispatch for 5 years and 6 months now. But yes, I am the Georgia Transportation Manager.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Christian. I'm the Georgia Transportation Supervisor. I've been with Verida for a little bit over 4 years. Started out in standing orders, where then I moved over to dispatch, and now dispatch is my home.
Good morning. My name is Calandra Jordan. I'm the after hours supervisor for transportation. I've been with Verida for 18 years. I've been in every department a little while, but dispatch is my home now.
Oh, wow. Wow. And 18 years.
Yes.
Yeah, it's quite a while. And I am, of course, Keith Sutton. I'm the marketing manager here at Verida, and I've been with the company just a little over 7 years now. So we're going to actually jump right into our conversation today and talk a little bit about dispatch and what you guys do, because I'm sure there are probably a number of you out there that some of you may engage with dispatch and maybe some of you don't. But this is a great time to get educated about what happens in this particular department. I think it's very important for you to hear because dispatch, of course, I always look at dispatches or call them sort of the air traffic controllers of our industry.
Absolutely.
An extremely important job, as with air traffic controllers, which is a very important job, getting passengers from point A to point B. And it's extremely crucial in our industry and for our company. So what I'd like to do is start off with a couple of questions. So we're going to start off with question number one. You guys tell me, what exactly does dispatch do?
I'll take this one. So, dispatch, we are focused on, as you said, getting our members transported to and from their medical appointments safely, timely, and efficiently.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
excellent.
dispatch just ensure transportation is secure for all members. We're the
Okay.
gatekeepers.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's cool. I think that's all of our number one jobs is, being able to make sure that these members get to their appointments, on time, and dispatch is a crucial part in that. So when we talk about that, let's maybe dig into it a little bit deeper in terms of what dispatch does. What are the various roles in dispatch, and just maybe tell me how they operate and work within the company.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Dispatch have
Mhm.
several various roles. Actually, we have our inbound phone team that handle provider calls. So when providers calling in, we have agents that handle those calls. We have advanced routers that kind of assigns the provider's manifest for them. 3 days out, preferably going up to 7 days. We have same day and next day routers that handle same day urgent requests and next day trips. We have hospital discharge routers that handles 30 minutes to 3 hours to secure transportation for our members. We utilize Lyft as well. So we have a Lyft API team, a Lyft concierge team. And then, of course, after hours, they are the urgent care of Verida. So they handle a lot of inbound phone calls, and they handle other states as well after hours. So just not Georgia, but I believe, Calandra, we handle Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Georgia
Wow.
after hours. So there's various roles in the dispatch department. Yes, sir.
That's fantastic. So I heard the fact that, if you're new to Verida, you may say, well, we know Verida has a call center and they take calls from members. But what I'm hearing is some phone calls are actually coming directly into dispatch as well. Is that
Absolutely.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Wow. Wow.
We
So,
communicate with our providers through emails
Mhm.
and sometimes over the phones.
Mhm.
We also take a lot of the phone calls for like "Where's my ride?" as well. So we have different roles. Dispatchers, a lot of multitasking.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
and like with Where's My Ride, we're talking about members who are waiting on their ride that are
Correct.
calling in and they're
Correct.
calling in to the dispatchers.
Correct.
Wow. So, I mean, you guys are actually handling a lot in terms of the phone calls, dispatching, coordinating these trips as well.
Yes, sir.
So it's pretty complex operation within the organization.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, let's talk about a couple other things. Now, we know that you have calls coming in to dispatch and you're getting those out, but tell me maybe about how you interact with other departments internally. What departments do you work with, and what goes on between you all?
Absolutely. I
Mhm.
think the best thing about being a dispatcher is having to work with those different departments.
Mhm.
One thing I love about Verida that you have a lot of choices here. It's a lot of internal departments here
Mhm.
at Verida. But being a dispatcher, it puts you in position to work with several of them. We work with the call center. We work with our standing orders department. We work with our quality assurance and utilization review department.
Mhm.
We work with our facility outreach coordinators. We work with our provider relations managers. So it
Mhm.
put us in position to have internal relationships with a lot of different departments.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I
Fantastic.
think daily we deal with we communicate daily with our provider relations managers, our facility outreach managers,
Mhm.
and of course our standing orders in our call center. But again, just being a dispatcher just puts you in position to have a lot of resources and to be able to understand what a lot of other departments have and offer as well.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Thank you. Now, I know we've mentioned providers several times because, of course, they're the group that you're typically coordinating with to get to the members and get them to their appointments. But tell me, just in a typical day, what's the conversation like between you all and providers? Yeah, you laugh about that, but yeah, I assume it's cordial.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's very
Yes,
cordial.
absolutely.
It's very
Very
cordial, but
cordial.
it,
Yeah.
it also
Uh-huh.
gives you a chance to get to know the providers. It's almost
Okay.
like knowing
Mhm.
someone that you're familiar with without seeing them on a daily. Because again, we do the same thing daily with our providers. We communicate with them, give them information regarding members' trips and things like that.
Mhm.
So it's daily, very cordial, but I
Mhm.
think it gets us in a position to have a relationship with our providers as well.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
really get to know, I guess, different provider
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
transportation
Absolutely.
providers.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, on a first name basis, I
Yes,
guess.
sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, let's also talk about. I'd like to maybe switch up a little bit. I'm going to talk about some of the things that go on in dispatch. I'm sure are somewhat memorable,
Yes.
and maybe I'd like for you to share maybe a quick story about something that you may never forget. It was just, that impactful in terms of maybe helping a member and maybe an emergency that happened. Something that you go, wow, this is, a story that I would love to share with my fellow employees in regards to dispatch and some of our interactions, over the years. So anybody want to maybe share a quick story?
I think we all could share a story. Kalandra?
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a grandmother. She
Mhm.
took care of her grandson
Mhm.
who had a serious illness. She would call in. He had a lot of appointments,
Mhm.
and she would only call in and ask for me
Wow.
to coordinate those trips for him. A lot of those appointments were last minute.
Mhm.
So, with dealing with her over the years, actually, until his unfortunately timely passing, and that
Mhm.
really stuck with me.
Yeah.
Every now and then, she'll still call through the call center and
Mhm.
ask for me just to keep up, just to see how I'm doing. And
Wow.
I think that's really touching that
Yeah.
members actually, with working with them for so long, they
Mhm.
actually look for you when they
Yeah.
need transportation
Yeah.
at any given time, and that actually touches me a lot.
Wow. Well, that just shows that, I guess, the job that we do, and the members that we work with, the providers that we work with,
Mhm.
there's a bond that's created.
Yes,
Absolutely.
You
Yes.
are working with
absolutely.
these
Absolutely.
people every single day.
Hmm.
And like you said, some of them, are calling in often and you don't necessarily know everything that's going on in their lives, but
Hmm.
sometimes you do. And
Yes.
sometimes, there's, great news, and sometimes there's not so good news that
Hmm.
happens. But
Absolutely.
the fact that a member or a member's caregiver relies on you and they ask for you, and they look forward to having that conversation, that's very reassuring. One of
Yes.
the things we talk about in this company is being empathetic and being able to really connect with our members and being able to connect with others, even
Absolutely.
within our
Yes.
organization. But that is just hats off to you in terms of your relationship and how you've worked with the members to get to that place where they
Mhm.
trust you and they look forward to talking to you. So
Yes.
yeah, thanks for that story.
And
Yeah.
and in a way, I believe I could speak for all of us here. We
Mhm.
we feel like a superhero at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
With
Yeah.
being able to
Mhm.
ensure that members are being transported on time.
Mhm.
Although we
Mhm.
are a non-emergency medical transportation company,
Yeah.
we do look at those appointments as urgent, which
Absolutely.
they are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I think it's good. It's a good feeling to be in dispatch, and like I said, at the end of the day, you leave and you feel like you've helped somebody, you've made somebody's day easier. You
Mhm.
leave and you feel like a superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really good. It's a good feeling.
Amazing.
Great point
Amazing.
there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Great point.
Yeah. Yeah. Story.
I think I have a similar story to Kalandra. I had one member that true story actually. I had one member that he went to dialysis treatment, and his dialysis treatment was look really 300 feet downstairs from my house. But I was able to grow a relationship with him. I would go out in the mornings to make sure that he got into the chair comfortably, safely. I would go when the driver was en route to him, making sure that he's ready for a pickup. Sometimes I would even assist him with getting into the vehicle. Um, again, just being there for him definitely made him feel really good, and I can I can see how appreciative he was of ensuring that we got him to his appointment, making him feel like family. That's what it is to us. Our members are our family outside of our family.
Right.
So it's an awesome feeling. He did pass, but I think what touched me the most was that his daughter reached out to me, and she was just so thankful for the services that Verida had provided to him. She felt as if it wasn't for us, her father would have been ill a long time ago, or may not have made it as long as he did. So it was a great feeling knowing that we were able to ensure that he got to his appointment, make him feel comfortable. And again, with him just being 300 feet away from me,
Yeah.
it was just in my heart to assist him the best way that I can. And
Right.
it just stuck out. It was a story that's like what Christian said, just make you feel like a superhero. Although we are non-emergency, but again, I just think every member is important that we secure transportation for these members. We communicate with these members. We make them feel like they're being heard, they're being understood, and we understand. And I always tell people, it may not be your family member, may not be your mother, your brother, your sister, but it's somebody's mother, brother, and sister.
Absolutely.
So we want to treat them as such, and that really touched me.
Wow.
That really touched me.
Well
Yes.
put. Well put. Thank
Thank
you
you.
all for those
Thank you.
stories. I mean, that's so important for us to hear, and it's really important for us to share these kind of stories often.
Absolutely.
Because there's great stories that are going on and things that we do great for people, but even internally, we need to hear that to reassure ourselves
Absolutely.
of what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Because we have, like we said, good days and we have some not so good
Absolutely.
days.
Absolutely.
It's called
Sometimes,
life.
yeah,
It's called life.
It's called life.
It is.
And sometimes we need that encouragement. And this is very inspirational, very encouraging. So I appreciate that. Let's move on. And we're going to talk about a couple of things in terms of dispatchers. What makes a really good dispatcher? You don't tell me that.
Multitasking.
Being able to multitask.
That's a big word.
Yes. Multitasking.
Yeah.
You got to be able to multitask being a dispatcher. Again, we do have various roles in the dispatch department. So although a lot of our agents have primary roles where assistance is needed, that's one thing I love about our dispatch team. When assistance is needed, we train our agents to be able to assist anywhere that assistance is needed. So just being able to multitask is what makes a really great dispatcher. Having great communication skills makes a great dispatcher. And being able to negotiate makes a great dispatcher. Absolutely.
Wow. So if there was someone watching or listening right now and said, you know what, I'm interested in being a dispatcher, those are some of the attributes
Absolutely.
that you would be looking for in a
Absolutely.
good dispatcher, to have that level of experience as well, in terms of being able to communicate, being able to multitask and so forth. Yeah, that's
Yes.
excellent.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Excellent. Let's talk about another part of dispatch. Tell me maybe about what are the most critical parts of your job? Are there areas, that you say, hey, we always have to be on top of this. This is just one of the most important areas that we have to make sure we get right.
Truthfully
Yeah.
speaking, I just
Mhm.
think not to scare anyone, but I think
Sure.
dispatch is just critical.
Critical.
Hmm.
Being a dispatcher is a critical position.
Hmm.
Again, I do truly feel like we are the heart of the company.
Hmm.
We ensure that our members have transportation to their appointments. So
Mhm.
no appointment is better than the other. So every appointment that we work is critical that we get those members to those
Mhm.
appointments. So I just think being a dispatcher is critical. Yeah, just being critical. I think dispatch
Yeah.
is being
Yeah.
critical.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Good. Good. Let's jump over to, and I've asked this question before in some of our previous podcasts, but I'm always interested to find out, even department by department, how things are handled. But how did things go for you all at the start of the pandemic? Was there a lot of commotion? Were things kind of jumping around? Did you have a challenge getting in touch with providers? Maybe just kind of share with me maybe how things work. And I'd love to hear both maybe how it worked during the day and how it worked at night as well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm.
So first off, when the at the start of the pandemic, unfortunately, the company had to send us all home.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But with that, we had to adapt to that change.
Hmm.
Not being right beside your employee, your somebody else that's on your team, and not being there to reach out to them for that additional assistance. And
Hmm.
also on the provider side, we did take a hit on losing providers
Mhm.
as well,
Hmm.
which made it a little bit more difficult to secure transportation for members. But we
Hmm.
had to work around that. Utilize our Verida QRV drivers
Hmm.
to assist with transportation. So on the front end, I want to say we definitely did take a hit. It was
Hmm.
a rough start,
Yes.
but we
Hmm.
were able to get past that
Yeah.
and work something out for our members to make sure they
Wow.
got to those appointments.
Absolutely. Great point,
Yes.
Christian.
Excellent.
And I think the
Yes.
positive side of the pandemic, although it became our new normal and was very unexpected, it put
Hmm.
our dispatchers in the mindset again. I think having that critical mindset,
Hmm.
Mhm.
the pandemic was different for a lot of us. I think it changed the world tremendously.
Hmm.
Mhm.
But just being fortunate enough to still have a career during the pandemic and still be able to have that front end, making sure that our members still got to our appointments. I think
Hmm.
it just put our dispatchers in our mindset of the importance of it. Their
Yeah.
family members were affected, our family
Mhm.
members were affected.
Hmm.
So I think it made our dispatchers go really hard with ensuring that we still utilize the best resources that we can to get our
Hmm.
Mhm.
members to their appointment. And we was dealing with what we call the new normal
Yeah.
with the pandemic. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. It's the
Yeah.
um I agree wholeheartedly. Even in the evenings and at night, it's we deal with the same situations that day shift does.
Hmm.
And with the pandemic starting, it was more of uncertainty,
Hmm.
which drew us all together a whole lot better.
Hmm.
So it was we made it through,
Yeah.
and we still making it through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I agree with
Hmm.
my coworkers and
Yeah.
I'm not going to call them coworkers. This is family right now. So,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah. Well, yeah, well, we all made it through. It
Absolutely.
was a challenge for all of us. And it's interesting just to hear because, everybody was impacted by it. Not only our company, every company in the
Absolutely.
industry,
Mhm.
Right.
companies in other industries.
yes.
Everybody had to shift, so to speak,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and be prepared. And the great thing about it is we all, rose to the occasion.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Taking away dispatch, I think the company overall, we
Hmm.
rise to the occasion.
Hmm.
The way that Verida handled that,
Hmm.
we were able to get all of our agents home safely.
Hmm.
Yep.
It really didn't affect the members with the
Hmm.
change
Hmm.
or the resources. I think that's when I knew that Verida was a team. The
Hmm.
way that we was just able to handle that situation.
Wow.
So
Hmm.
leadership was then making sure that every agent were home and we didn't leave until our agents were. And
Hmm.
it made me feel really good working for a company like that to see us all come
Yes.
together the way that we did.
That's awesome. That
Absolutely.
is
Mhm.
awesome. Wow. So let's do this. And you just sort of, touched on it. I mean, through trials and challenges that come. My next question really is, what do you think makes a good team? And part of that was actually you're being tested. We were
Hmm.
tested.
Hmm.
Many
Hmm.
companies were tested through the
Mhm.
pandemic. But we certainly learned how to work together.
Absolutely.
But in dispatch, for you all to coordinate and to, be able to get members the transportation they need on time, and then maybe if there's maybe a blip in transportation, you got a shift, and like you said, having your coworkers right next to you, are there any things that single out in your mind in terms of, this is what makes our team great?
I think what makes our team great with leadership and with dispatches, the honesty and transparency that we have with each other. I think being honest definitely speaks volumes of who you are. And I think transparency definitely shows people who you are, being able to adapt. I love diversity. I love diversity. I love to bring one together. And dispatch is very diverse. Verida's diversity. However, dispatch is very diversity. So to bring all those different backgrounds and cultures together, have that transparency and that honesty, I think that builds a great team. I learn a lot from Christian. I learn a lot from Kalandra, and I'm sure they learn a lot from me. And just putting that together and just being transparent with each other. Christian definitely will let me know when he may see something different that may work for us. So just listening to each other and having that honest conversation, it works for us. We're able to get our job done. We're able to communicate well and trust that the process is going to work. And that just comes with being honest with who you are and just being transparent so they can see you for who you are.
Yeah, really like that. Yeah. Anybody, y'all have anything
Well,
to add?
he hit it right on the nail.
Nailed it.
He nailed it perfectly.
Definitely.
Fantastic. Let's talk about some of the business at hand when you're handling transportation for members. What happens when there's a little bit of a wrinkle, when, say, there's a member no-show, or even a transportation, a provider no-show? What actually happens when something like that occurs?
Well, on the front end with member no shows, what we typically try to do is first reach out to that member to ensure that they are okay. Because sometimes you do have it to where the member might be in the hospital, and unfortunately they weren't able to notify us. So if we see a pattern of member no shows, we'll then take that initiative to reach out to that member to ensure they're okay, to ensure that they still require transportation. And then if they don't, of course, we would just move forward with getting that out of the system so that we won't have to continue to send out drivers. So we definitely take part, take lead on making sure that the members are still available to receive transportation. And then with provider no-shows, it's somewhat similar. If the providers don't show up, we loop in our providers relations managers where they would reach out to that provider and see what went on with that particular trip. Because, as Dewan said, it's important for all members to make their appointments. So if those drivers aren't showing up to transport, that's an issue.
And we have some good provider relations managers. So Tanisha Holmes and Jody Boyer is very involved with the provider network.
And Jody, there's a shout out.
They are very involved with the provider network. So again, with the provider no shows, they definitely get involved. And that's what I was saying with just having being a dispatcher, that internal relationship, the quality assurance, Messina as well, with getting those member no show letters out there, and then Tanisha and Jody holding the providers accountable when we do have provider no shows. So I think that's very awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Now, is it different at night, Calandra? Do you see as much activity in terms of member no shows? Because a lot of it is urgent care. So I assume those things are pretty much right on the button. But do you ever have any challenges at times during the night shift?
Sometimes we do. And it's more of the members are still in the hospital in the process of getting discharged.
Okay.
So those are the only type of no-shows we encounter mostly at night. But at night is more of the critical aspect of the members being discharged from the hospital or on their way home from their treatments. So those types of trips for us is always urgent. We always make sure every member gets home in a timely, safe manner.
Oh yeah. If we get you there, we're going to get you home.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Let's talk about, are there situations that come up where there are maybe more drivers available than there are trips? Is that something that you have to balance out? If you got all these drivers saying, hey, I need trips, but or is there some type of way you make sure that everything is balanced out? How does that work in dispatch?
Well, the good thing about our providers, we have the volume for our providers.
Mm-hmm.
Verida have the demands for our providers.
Plenty of trips.
We have
Yes.
plenty of
Yes.
trips for our providers,
Okay.
enough to go around.
Uh-huh.
But again, just with being in the transportation business, we have those challenges.
Mhm.
Although our goal and our focus is to make sure that all members get to their appointment. Again, with just having life, we have those issues.
Mhm.
But it's just making sure that we communicate with both the providers, both with the members, and ensuring that whatever we failed this time, we don't fail moving forward. So keeping that relationship strong with it. But there can be challenges. But I think just getting through those obstacles. Just make sure that we communicate with the providers and the members. Just make sure that whatever challenge we had today, Christian, Kalandra, Dewan, just ensure that this member don't have any ongoing issues. And I think that make them feel good about it.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you. Let's talk about maybe give me an example. We're talking about providers again. Maybe tell me some examples of providers that are doing the job right. We like to, we know that we have lots of trips, lots of interaction going on, but then, there's some good examples of saying, you know what, this particular transportation provider, this is the way, we love to work with our transportation
Absolutely.
providers. Do you have any examples?
Of course. I'll go ahead and jump on that one. So, I first off definitely want to give a shout out to one of our providers, Caravan. Her name is Brittany.
Carrot Van.
Um,
All right.
The reason why I feel like she's one of those go-getter providers is because she's always available. We might have sometimes where a member is stuck. She's one of those providers that I can reach out to, and she'll definitely try to make it work. She'll squeeze that member in if they've been waiting. I can let her know we need someone to get out there. She's just the fact that she's so available when she's needed. I feel like that's a great provider.
Availability.
Availability
I love
is
that.
perfect.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
awesome.
Absolutely.
Yes, and just like during the day, I have that one provider at night that I can call, Donna with Reliable Express. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter what time. If I need her, she will come out and transport a member home. May it
Wow.
be wheelchair assistance or stretcher assistance. She
Mhm.
will do that.
Wow.
I've worked with Donna for as long as I've actually been here. So
Wow.
we have that working relationship where I can call her and she will come back out after her day shift has
Mhm.
completed. Will come back out and do a trip.
That's fantastic.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I wish I could name them all.
Mhm.
However, I got 15 drivers that I just really appreciate, which
That's
is our
great.
which is our QRV drivers, our Verida
Ah.
QRV drivers, quick
All right.
response
Mhm.
vehicles.
Mhm.
Our drivers are on the front end. Our drivers ensure that our state monitored members are moved. Our drivers handle our MCA members.
Mhm.
So any members that we possibly have failed, our drivers, the QRV drivers, are transporting those members. So just seeing the relationship they have with the members, making sure that they're there on time, getting picked up timely. I really do appreciate our QRV drivers.
Wow.
Absolutely.
We'll give a
Mhm.
shout
All
out to
15 of
QRV
them.
drivers.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Now, is with the night shift, I know you all do a number of things, maybe some things different from the day shift,
Yes.
but specifically I want to talk about GMA and your interaction and connection with them, just to let everyone else out there know that we're working with this organization, this agency that really is there to help when we have what we've just recently had with Adalia, having hurricanes in areas and having the need for transportation in other places than we typically would.
Yes.
Could you maybe share?
Actually, Verida is partnered with the Department of Community Health and and the state to go and assist with transporting members out of harm's way during pre-touchdown of a hurricane and post. All members we assist to evacuate out of harm's way. We do bring them back home. We also assist with a lot of the nursing home patients that are in harm's way, and also private citizens that may not be in a nursing home, may it be wheelchair and stretcher assistance as well. But it is an awesome sight to be in because from here, we're not here on company stunting grounds. We are actually in the emergency command center
Okay.
down at the state. So
wow.
it is awesome to be in the midst
Mhm.
and assisting during that time frame. So we're typically are on call between June to November.
Okay.
And for Adelia, we were put on official standby.
Mhm.
So when we get the call, okay, we have to evacuate, then we are to report down to
Wow.
the emergency center and jump in and start helping assist members.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
amazing. And I know, and I've actually been down to the command center as well.
Mhm.
It's an awesome thing to see that and see our representation down there
Yes.
assisting the state and
Mhm.
getting these members evacuated because over the years we've had a few
Yes.
hurricanes and episodes where we've had to do evacuations, and I
Mhm.
know we have jumped right into it. And typically, we may go as far as the Georgia coast, Savannah,
Yes.
all the way in southeast Georgia,
Mhm.
to pick up
Yes.
members and nursing home seniors that need assistance
Mhm.
to get out of the eye of the storm, so to
Yes.
speak.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Alondra, didn't you actually did before?
Yes, there was
Mhm.
the storm in 2019 actually
Mhm.
was my very first activation.
Really.
So it was awesome to
Mhm.
see not only it was just Verida, it was also all the different departments, wildlife and fisheries, state troopers. It was Department of Community Health, Department of um, sorry, I can't think of.
Mhm.
It was just every department that you can think of underneath the state, under Georgia state guidelines, was in this one room, and it was just I was in awe because of my very first
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was very exciting, very
That's
exciting.
that's cool. So, with you all being there, your experience, of course, as a dispatcher
Yes.
was one of the key reasons they say, "Hey, we need to have you here to make
Mhm.
sure." There again, we're talking about evacuations,
Yes.
coordinating,
Yes.
providers and transportation groups to get out and
Mhm.
help and assist these people. And it's typically in an area that you're not
Familiar with.
familiar with in terms of
Mhm.
the geography,
Mhm.
Yes.
and you're going into other areas of the state. But
Yes.
you step up to the plate
Yes.
and you help out. And even though we don't like to hear about the storms and things like that, but there again, it's a part of life.
Right.
And yeah, it's great to hear that you guys are on the front lines helping the state of Georgia.
Absolutely.
Like
We're
that.
gonna
Yeah.
always be
Absolutely.
here.
Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling. Superhero feeling.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Now, again, talking about night shift, day shift, are there some differences between the night shift and day shift? And maybe you all can maybe tell me what's the differences are and how you all handle things.
Well, night shift, we handle more of the inbound calls that's coming in. Not only for Georgia, we also
Mhm.
handle Arkansas, Mississippi,
Mhm.
and Louisiana at night, where typically day shift handles just Georgia.
Mhm.
So that's where they typically have different teams at night. We handle everything
Okay.
at one time.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest responsibility that both the day shift and night shift have is just again securing transportation for our members. That's
Mhm.
our main focus.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, I'd like to maybe ask a question. Let's get to know you guys a little bit better. Get to know your teams a little bit better. So yeah, I want to know about the personalities in the group here at Dispatch. Maybe you can tell me about who's the one who keeps everybody laughing and upbeat, who's got the energy going, who's the more serious, more focused person trying to stay right here. Then you got the one that may be a little bit more frantic or, tell me. Yeah, who's who?
Ooh.
Well,
I think I'm the more serious one. Okay, no.
No.
No, I am the upbeat one. I'm definitely upbeat. I'm a Pisces.
Okay.
So I live this wild imagination of life. But I think with just being a leader,
Mhm.
you have to be upbeat. You know,
Mhm.
if you're
Mhm.
if you're not, I'm no good as my team if I'm not good. You know,
Yeah.
so just motivating them, keeping them motivated. This is our home away from home. This is where I'm here more than I am at home
Mhm.
majority of my time. But however, just want to make sure everyone feel welcome, make sure everyone feel good, feel like they're ready for the day. So I think I'm probably the upbeat one, the jokester to
Okay.
keep it going.
I
If I
can
had
see
to,
that.
if I had to guess, I think Kalandra is she's the more timid one, more chilled, more laid back, and
Mhm.
Christian here,
Mhm.
the serious
Serious.
one.
He's the
Okay.
serious one.
Got the
You
blinders
got
on.
the
Okay.
blinders
Yes,
on,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, I think it all works
Mhm.
well together. Putting it
Yeah.
together is one good dynamic.
Yeah. That's
Absolutely.
fantastic. Awesome. Awesome. Well, tell me, like, how many agents do you all have on each shift?
Well,
Overall, we have 65 dispatchers.
Total of 65
65,
Yes.
dispatchers?
absolutely.
Wow.
Mhm.
65 dispatchers and 15 drivers.
And 15
Yes.
drivers.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's a lot.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Wow. Um, okay. Tell me now maybe about some of the struggles that maybe are a part of what dispatch has to deal with on occasions. Are there things that kind of pull and tug at you? You say, well, this is a bit of a struggle sometimes. Yeah, because I just like to kind of do both sides of it. We want to hear the good things, but we want to hear things that are challenging as
Mhm.
well,
absolutely.
to really let other fellow employees know that, hey, we deal with these kind of things too. So what would you say are, you know, any of those struggles that maybe come with being a dispatcher?
Well, definitely the biggest struggle is not being able to secure transportation for
Mm.
members.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I see it all the time. I
Mm-hmm.
see that a lot of our agents they take it to heart when they can't secure transportation, which is a good thing. That you have that you're able to show sympathy for not being able to secure transportation for those members.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest struggle in dispatch is not being able to secure transportation to get
Yeah.
those members to their much needed appointments.
Wow.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's our struggle is when we cannot secure transportation.
Yeah.
And like Christian has said, it definitely takes. We take it at heart,
Yeah.
we're
Mhm.
dispatchers. So our mindset is to ensure that transportation is secured. And we hear those stories from the members,
Mhm.
So when we hear those stories, it touches us on all different levels. And so I do think that when we cannot secure transportation, that's the struggle. And
Yeah.
and our dispatchers
Mhm.
feel it.
Yeah.
They feel it.
Wow.
I don't know if it's an amazing feeling, but I know that it's a feeling that I enjoy seeing, that just having them having that passion for what they do.
Mhm.
I think being a dispatcher, you have to have passion.
Yeah.
You have to know what empathy feels like.
Yeah.
So to know that we have that passion
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
awesome. But
Yeah.
that is a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, hats off to you all. I
Thank
think
you.
Thank you.
you all are, of course, a very valuable part of this organization and to the industry as well, because so many people, come through Verida
Yes.
on an annual basis, on a daily basis,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that's what they're looking for, simply to make sure that they get to their healthcare appointment.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
we thank you for that. We thank you for being here this morning with us to discuss dispatch and talk all about it. And I think that pretty much does it for the questions that I have. Now, if there's anything else you'd like to share, maybe you want to tell everyone out there something about dispatch that you feel is important for them to know, we'll end with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't have any questions. Just anybody that's interested in a career at Verida and being a dispatcher, it's definitely an amazing feeling. It's a lot of opportunities with being a dispatcher. Again, it puts you in a position to learn. I can genuinely say that I found a career in what I do, and I love what I do. Absolutely,
Dispatch is the heart of the company.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll certainly take that along with us. Well, thank you all for being here.
Thank you for
And
having
thank
us.
you all for watching today. And we look forward to the next podcast coming up. So please stay tuned and we'll see you next time. Take care.